Hi, everybody. I'm very excited to be here with you today, even if just virtually, along with my colleague Sandy from New Zealand and Bron, who's in the room with you today. And Derek and Kimberly, thank you so much for setting this up and helping us run this workshop today. My name is Lena Yenspielange. I founded Autens back in 2005, lots of years ago, to really fill a gap that we saw was needed of linking schools with architects and how we can create school design that is really based authentically on learning, on the vision for what the future of education might look like, and not least owned by and created by learners, teachers, and the local community. So that's the work that we're going to talk about with you today. And you're also going to have a go at it later. First of all, I'd just like to also welcome my colleague Sandy, who's right here.
Yeah, so I'm Sandra, Sandy Jenkins, and I'm the director and co-founder of Autens Pasifika in New Zealand, and we are very excited to be participating with you in this workshop today, and hopefully build some partnerships with some of the wonderful architectural companies working in education that are represented in the room today.
So that was a little fast forward through what our work looks like when we are working with teachers and learners, the local community. And I'm going to take you through some more details in what it is that we do. That here was just sort of a little sneak peek. So I'm going to share my slides here. Let's say we have a school that is going to be rebuilt or expanded, or maybe we need an entire new school. What we'll do is we'll go in the beginning, maybe teamed up with architects or as working directly with the school. We'll work with the staff, we'll work with the local community, with parents, we'll work with learners and develop the vision and understanding of what learning could look like in practice. We will begin to prototype and shape learning spaces, and from that draw some principles on which we collaborate with architects, in which we can then begin to ideate and shape the future building. So as you see, we have a lot of engagement in the beginning, and gradually the architects take over more and more. And typically before moving in, there'll be a period of time where we get close again, and learners, teachers, architects come together and also help talk about how we are going to inhabit the space, how we're going to use it, and really unfold the potential of what has been built. So it's really because we're not just designing spaces here. What we are shaping learning cultures. We had a lot of schools over the years who way back would talk about a brilliant, wonderful vision for learning, and then the spaces for innovation and creativity would look like this. One, it could look like this, which is actually your school, Sandy, in Auckland. So we are shaping learning cultures. We want people to be very intentional with that. That was why we created the Learning Space Design Lab, to hack the thinking and to really help people go beyond the solutions that they already knew, and say welcome to a different kind of a whole new era in school design, basically. So let's have a look what a traditional classroom could look like if you're really intentional with your space design. So this is an example of how you can use spaces in different ways and help shape different kinds of learning cultures. And as you can see, there's plenty of opportunity to create, to bring in ideas, and to do so as a team of teachers, a team of students, and it's super fun too. So we've had kids say, this is, it's like I can speak with my hands, or it's like moving thoughts around. So it's really beneficial to move beyond the 2D version of plans and paper and work together in 3D. It's hands-on, it's playful, it's collaborative, it's creative, and it's a lot of fun. And our partnership with architects around this is around co-creating design principles for learning spaces in the school, ultimately building the architectural brief and also programming schools and shaping that school design together, where we kind of translate from, you know, the pedagogical world to the architectural, more sort of space design world. Here's a little example I'd like to show you from Denmark. A4LE school that won the School Architecture Award last year. So we had a long process with the whole community there, study trips, kickoff, value streams and what have you, and also created the new ideas in our learning space design lab, which you have right here, some of the examples of what teams were building. As you can see, it didn't resemble traditional classrooms at all, which it rarely does when we work this way. And this is what it was interpreted like for by the architects. It's a learning hub. It's a grade level learning hub here for 70 kids. And it turned out like this. And it's just magical to hear how the level of conflict has dropped, how it's really supportive of many different ways of learning and working for learners, and how the special ed intervention has also dropped to a very low level compared to what the school experienced before. And Sandy, I think this is also where you come in with your exciting example from May Road School, which really, you know, I think it's such a beautiful example of what we can do when we bring a community together around school design.
Yeah, and so as Lena said, you know, it's very well researched and has the uses the process of universal design for learning and really does get everybody engaged. So the architects are able to get that insight from the stakeholders, be alongside them while the stakeholders are exploring their ideas. And then, you know, as part of the process, we pull all those ideas together and synthesize, and then the architects are able to take that information and start working at concept design. So this really gives people an opportunity to play and to make sense of the space and to bring that vision, the vision and values of the school into what that might look like in terms of teaching and learning spaces. And so this is a school that I've been working with over the past year in Auckland called May Road School. And the Linda Stewart is the principal, and I work very closely with Linda and the leadership team and the architects Jasmax. So you can see with these photos here going through the same process where we've got learners, teachers, support staff, and what they were really interested in was linking their ideas to the Māori and Pacific cultural narrative in their school design. And the so we had all the you know, different groups involved, including the parents of the school community and everything as well. And if we just go back to this wee clip here, you can hear these guys talking about what it is that they would like to have incorporated in the space, and you'll notice that cultural narrative coming through.
So what we try to do is the effect over here is that we have the water, they have connecting the land to the sea, to the sea to the land, which is us. So we have this effect coming here, like a little tree hut, a little swing, maybe for when kids need to, maybe just to relax and build confidence in what they're doing. And also with our teaching spaces, we have like little campfires to represent it, because we're in the forest, you know, and the first thing you think about when you're in the forest is like camping.
So you can see there, first of all, the passion and the fun that had been experienced with going through the process. And of course, the ownership is really important as well. So what happened when we did the synthesis of this was that Mayroad, well, first of all, Mayroad School is a school that has got many different nations in their student population, but they came to the conclusion, obviously it's a strong Māori community and Pasifika community, but that everybody has in their own cultural background a creation story. So the building is a 3-level building, and they have decided to link design elements related to the Māori creation story. So the ground level was going to represent Papatuanuku, which is the earth, and level 1 was the forest with Tane Mahuta, and level 2, Ranganui, the sky and the heavens. And so they're all kind of like elements associated with that cultural narrative will be is being incorporated in the design, which was pretty exciting, really. And so you can see here was at the concept design stage that that some of those thoughts and everything were starting to come through in the design area. And once it was synthesized and then went back to the architects, and now those ideas are coming through and on the design elements. So that was pretty exciting, because I know that there was a lot of interest internationally on the cultural narrative of both the history of the site and the people that are there today being incorporated in the design elements, so that people do really feel that when they walk into the space, that that they are part of the space. And the other wonderful thing about going through this process is the absolute ownership and bringing all of those stakeholder groups on board right at an early start, which is just such a wonderful thing to do.
Thank you so much, Sandy. I just love that Mayroad story, because it really ties the people who are going to use the space to the design and just makes the room for success afterwards so much bigger. And I think that wraps up our little presentation here. And we'll hand it over to Bron, Kimberly and Derek, and hope you'll have a lot of fun. And do reach out if you think that there might be some projects we could collaborate on in the future, and have a really wonderful day. Thank you.